Hello everybody, John Ashworth, the Fitness Nomad. This is a quick discussion about sarcopenia, otherwise known as muscle wasting. This is a very important topic, and an experience yesterday in particular has driven me toward this topic for today. And I realize if you come to this blog regularly, I have not been writing as much as I usually do for a variety of different reasons. I've got a big project in the works, which I'm keeping secret for now, but also as a result of that project and trying to teach myself some of these new skills that I'm using here today, these screen capture videos and the bamboo tablet. It's all part of this new project I'm working on. So I'm bringing you content in this new way. It's also a little bit easier during the week when I'm busy with clients and in between clients throughout the day. So the topic we're talking about today is sarcopenia, and I want to start just with this quick image because this is the problem right here. Remember, starting in your mid-30s, sometimes you start losing, on average, 1% of your bone and muscle every year. And I talk about that extensively in my new book, Weight Loss, the Job No One is Training You For. So if you haven't picked up a copy of that, click the link in the right-hand column of this page, and you will find that, and you'll learn a lot more about it by reading the book. But this video should help. Sarcopenia, muscle wasting. This is what it looks like over the years. You don't realize it, but if you're only measuring your weight on the scale, your scale's totally underestimating the fat gain over the years. It's measuring your weight, but it's not giving you any idea of how much muscle you're losing. So that's problem number one. And here it is. Okay? You get to be the age of 55, 60 years old, and look at how much less dense the muscle is in this physique compared to this physique. And here's the thing for all you young ladies out there that might be watching this. Now is the time to preserve this muscle mass, okay? Because trying to build this back up to this, probably not going to happen. You're not going to be able to build all that muscle back up. You're going to be able to build some muscle and help yourself, no doubt about it. But maintaining and preserving as much of this that you start with, the better, okay? So I just wanted to start with that because it's a good visual of what we're talking about today. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you two calculations. I'm going to turn my camera off. Two scenarios this week. One where significant muscle wasting is happening for specific reasons I'll talk about, and another one where muscle building is actually happening. And you'll see how different they look on the scale and how compelling it is in the muscle wasting situation to believe that everything is fantastic because of how dramatic the results appear. But this is exactly where the problems arise. So let me turn the camera off. Okay, so, and again, remember, I'm still learning how to use this tablet, so bear with me. Client 1. Client 1 starts out in the program with a weight of 168 and a body fat of 29.1%. And by the way, for a woman, generally speaking, you should try and get below 30%. For a man, below 25% as just an initial starting point. Those are good body composition levels. So client number 1 starts there. Client number 2, I got a lot of work to do here in learning how to write more clearly here. Started out at a much bigger guy. These are two men. Started out at a weight of 116 and a body fat of 34.1%. Okay? Now, client number 1 on the scale, 6 months later, dropped his weight only by 2.5 pounds. However, his body fat percentage dropped by 29.1 minus 26.2, 2.9, we'll just say 3% for the sake of argument to make the math easier. So 3% drop in body fat. Client number 2 went from a weight of 316 all the way down to a weight of 282 and all the way down to a body fat percentage of 28.9%, which is all very good, okay? This is all very good regardless of the fact that client number 2, as you will see with these more dramatic weight loss numbers, this is the client that is muscle wasting. Okay? Now, it's still really, really good that client number 2's weight has come down by this degree and that his body fat has also come down by this degree. But it's not good that he is muscle wasting along the way. And I'm going to show you. So the first thing is you want to make sure that as your body weight is coming down, that your weight is also coming down with it. So a better way to say that would be, as your weight is coming down, make sure that your body fat is also coming down. Okay? That is crucial. What you don't want to see is a weight graph where the weight is coming down, but then the body fat is increasing, and you definitely don't want to see those lines cross. And I'll tell you that for the most part, most people are never even looking at these numbers, and this is why so many people lose weight, don't keep it off, gain not just the weight back, but even more weight back in the long run. So, 2.5 pound weight loss here, 316 minus 282 is 34 pounds off, which is awesome. Really, really good, versus 2.5 pounds here. But now, watch what happens. So how do you calculate muscle wasting? How do you calculate muscle wasting? It's somewhat of a crude calculation, but short of giving everyone a body weight or a body density scan in an MRI machine every time they're in a fitness program, which just isn't going to happen. What we do is we take this percentage of the current weight. So let's see if I can do this now. I'm going to change the color. So we're going to take this percent of this weight, and that's going to give us the number of fat pounds that this individual has. So if we take 0.291 times 168 equals 48.8 fat pounds. We'll just say 49. And then we subtract 49 from 168, and that gives us the lean weight of 119. Lean fat. Okay? Then we do the same thing here. 26.2, 0.62 times not this weight, but again the current weight of 166.5. That gives us 43.6. And again, we'll just say 44. So that's 44 pounds of fat. So you can see here, that's 5 pounds of fat loss. And I'm going to give you a prop right at the end of this video to show you what that represents. Because again, this is where people get into trouble. They say, geez, that's not very significant. 5 pounds, 6 months of work. Well, hold on, stand by. So then we subtract that 44 from this 166.5, and we get 122.5. We'll say 122. So now we've got 122 lean pounds now versus what we started out with, which is 119 lean pounds. So that's a gain in lean mass of 3 pounds. That's 3 pounds of muscle, baby, right there. Okay? So we're going to come back to that. Because what do we find in this situation? Let's see, fat, lean. Man, this is really going to take some practice. All right, so 34.1% times 316. And let's change the color again, just for fun. So 34.1.341 times 316 equals 107.7. So we'll say 108 fat pounds at the start. And then we subtract that from 316. So we subtract the fat pounds, 108, from 316. And that will give us the lean weight. So 316 minus 108 is 208. 208 pounds of lean mass. And then the same thing here, 28.9% times 282, 0.289 times 282 equals 81.5 pounds of fat. So we'll say 82 pounds of fat. And then we subtract 82, remember not from 316, but of the current weight, 282. So 282 minus 282 minus 82, pardon me, is 200. And this is where you can start to see where the problem is, okay? So I'm running out of room here. I'm going to put the numbers up here. But 108 pounds of fat to start with minus 82 is 26 pounds of fat loss. Now that's huge, okay? So we're not going to take away from that. That's extremely significant. 26 pounds of fat vaporized. However, along the way, we started out with 208 pounds of lean mass, and now we're down to 200 pounds of lean mass. So we've lost 8 pounds of muscle. Not good. Okay? Really, really not good. So in essence, that sort of takes away from 26 pounds of fat. If you want to look at it in a real simple way, you know, that's taking away from this number. Can you subtract 8 from 26? Not really, because you still lost the 26 pounds of fat, but you also lost the muscle along the way. So stand by here. I'm going to clear the screen. Okay, so here's just a little more math to put this in perspective then. All right, so it's still really good. I want to reinforce this. Client number 2 with the 8 pounds of muscle wasting. Also lost 26 pounds of fat. That's very, very good. Client number 1, however, look at this. This is how you need to think about this. Now, he only lost 2.5 pounds on the scale, but he gained 3 pounds of muscle. All right. Now, what does that represent? Each pound of muscle will burn between 5 and 7 calories per day extra. All right. Now, that doesn't even sound like a lot either, right? So each pound of muscle burns 5, let's just say 5 calories per day extra. So that's 15 calories per day extra that this client is burning. Now, and I can hear you already saying, my God, that's it? 6 months of hard work in the gym, and this is all I can expect from my strength and conditioning? I want to be on the program that client number 2 is on. No, you don't. Here's how you need to look at this. 15 calories per day times 365 days in a year is 5,400. I'm going to change my color again here. 5,475 calories. Now, if we divide that by what's in 1 pound of fat, that equals 1.5 pounds of fat. Now, I can still hear you saying, my God, that's it? 1.5 pounds of fat, all that work, and and that's all I'm going to get in a year? Yes. And that's what you're going to get every year for the rest of your life, that you maintain that 1.5 pounds or that 3 pounds of muscle. And if you keep going, that 3 pounds of muscle is going to turn into 6 pounds of muscle in another 6 months. And you're going to be up to 3 pounds of fat per year. Just if nothing else changes. The thing here is, with all this extra muscle, it's not just the extra 1.5 pounds to 3 pounds per year that you're going to burn if nothing else changes. Everything you do, walking up the stairs, going to the grocery store, getting in and out of your car, you're using that extra muscle. Every time you work out, you're using that extra muscle. So now your workouts are burning more calories. Your activities of daily living are burning more calories. And best of all, that extra muscle is also helping to preserve your bone mass. And so if you look at this over a 5-year period, let's say, and you build 3 to 5 pounds of muscle every year, that means, and even if it's just 4 pounds of muscle, let's say you build in 5 years, that's 20 pounds of muscle. In 5 years, okay, now let's do the math on that again. 5 years, 20 pounds of muscle, burning an extra 5 calories a day. So now you're up to 100 extra, no, I'm sorry, 20 pounds in 5 years. So 20 pounds, yeah, 20 pounds times 5 years. Sorry, 20 extra pounds of muscle. You've rid yourself of the fat, you've got 20 extra pounds of muscle, now you're burning an extra 100 calories a day. You multiply that by 365 days in a year, and that's 36,500 calories. Now divide that by 3,500. And what do you get? You get 10.4 pounds of fat. Now eventually, your body is going to reach, changing out my canvas here, pardon me. Eventually your body is going to reach a level, that's called its set point. And that's the place where the body is comfortable and it's going to hang there. But you start to get the idea that it really is the compound effect in play, the compound effect. Every time you build a pound of muscle, 1 pound of muscle, 1 pound of muscle, 1 pound of muscle, 1 pound of muscle, and you've got big time assets working for you every day of your life until the day you die. All you have to do is perform the right kind of strength training 2 to 3 days per week. I mean, I should say that the client we're talking about here hasn't been completely 100% disciplined with his routine. He has missed some workouts, his nutrition hasn't been perfect, but he shows up most of the time 2 days a week and works his tail off with me here in the studio. And this is what's possible. And this is what's possible when you look at this over the long run. So pardon me, stand by, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to pause the video, because this is where I want to finish. Actually, I'm not going to finish right here. I want to show you this, and then I want to finish talking about client number 2. I don't want to leave you hanging there. This purple ball represents about 1 pound of fat, okay? Hopefully you can see this clearly. I'm going to stand back just a little bit. I still don't know how to get myself a preview so I can actually see what you're seeing on the screen. 1 pound of fat, 1 pound of muscle. So what you want to do is trade one for the other. And it's not an equal trade. You're not going to trade 10 pounds of fat for 10 pounds of muscle. Boom. It's like I said, you're going to build 3 to 5 of these maybe every 6 months or every year. And you're going to drop as many of these as you can. But you only want to drop these if you're maintaining these along the way. Because if you're losing these along the way, you're going to get yourself in trouble in the long run. Because all that dramatic weight loss looks really good until the workouts stop for a couple of months because things get busy, or something gets in the way of the training program, or whatever the case might be, or you're not nearly as focused with your nutrition for a few months because you've got some stress at work. And in that situation that you had earlier where the client lost so much weight, you're going to get yourself into big trouble because the weight's going to come crushing back on this individual because there was too much muscle wasting along the way. All right? So hopefully that makes sense. What I want to say about client number 2 is that it's great. This individual stopped by the studio, wanted to weigh in, knew he was making progress, but admitted he's been on the same strength training program since we parted ways a couple of months ago. And that is the problem, okay? You can get results. You can do this on your own, but you have to be changing your strength and conditioning program every couple of weeks, because otherwise this is what happens. It burns calories, but it doesn't build muscle, and you end up muscle wasting along the way. Because remember, when you lose weight, you lose three things. You lose fat, you lose water. That's why those low-carb diets work. And if you're not careful, you lose muscle. And what you're trying to do is preserve that. And there's also other things that you need to think about around nutrition, but that's a topic for another post. So hopefully this makes sense now. Muscle wasting, sarcopenia, very bad thing. Make sure you're on the right kind of strength and conditioning program and nutrition program so that you're maintaining muscle mass as you lose weight. Thanks for watching. This is John Ashworth, the Fitness Nomad.